Which players could you see the Ravens actually trading into the top 10 for? Should the Ravens trade for Buccaneers tight end O.J. Howard? When it's time for Ravens star quarterback Lamar Jackson to get paid, do you think he'll really cash out and break the bank, or take more of a team-friendly deal? These and many, many more questions on this episode of NFL Questions from Subscribers.
And you know just what I mean. You too, team, keep it clean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, that's my homie, ain't that right engraving.
YouTube team, keep it clean. What's going on? It's Raven here with another video and another episode of NFL Questions from Subscribers. This is a series where you can ask me any NFL question you want to based off of any NFL team, and we answer it in a video just like this or in a live stream. If you want to be part of NFL Questions from Subscribers, you can send me an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or you can even send something to the P.O. Box. The address for that is down below in the description. We have a lot of questions to get into right now. The date and time, it is Wednesday, the day before the draft, and it is 5:13 a.m. The reason it's so early is because I went to sleep early last night. I was planning on streaming last night around maybe 10:30, 11, but it's tiredness just caught up with me. So now I'm very refreshed right now. I have a lot of energy, and I'm up at 5 in the morning. I woke up at about 4:30. Then I read my daily texts, and then I started browsing around on Twitter and stuff, and but I'm up. I'm wide awake, and I'm not tired at all. So let's get into these questions. Real quick, special shout out to my guy Christian, man. Christian, I appreciate you big time, man. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let's get into these questions because we got a lot. First question came from my boy Mike G. I think he actually started off the last episode of NFL Questions from Subscribers too. What a coincidence with the timing. Timing is everything. He said, "This is Mike G again. Sorry for emailing you back so quick, but I wanted to get your thoughts on players that I think our Ravens will be willing to trade up for." Top 10, Isaiah Simmons. In my opinion, this is the only guy that I can see our Ravens trading up into the top 10 for. Isaiah Simmons could possibly be a combination of Adalius Thomas, with a pass rush. He didn't put that, but he would put Adalius Thomas, and C.J. Mosley. I know that is a mouthful, but Isaiah is a superior athlete and could give Coach Martindale tons of flexibility. My guess, this will cost us 2 first-rounders plus a second and a third. The question would be, is a future defensive player of the year worth the risk? I think so, especially if you're in super win now mode, and if he's somebody that you can move around, and he what you're building in front of him too. And of course, you could always make some other moves to get a first round pick back, or just just have a bunch of second round picks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Eric DeCosta be flipping stuff like crazy, so it wouldn't be a thing. But if you really feel like he is that guy, and he is a generational talent, and he could really do some damage on your defense, on your team, period, whether offense or defense, I say go for it. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I would say go for it. So we'll see in a little over 24 hours. Anyway, he said between 11 and 20, I think interior lineman Mekhi Becton, the Splash Brothers, Lamb, Ruggs, or Judy. Last Kinlaw, Chason would be the targeted players. My preference would be any of the line players, especially with the playmakers at the receiver in the second round. My guess, this will cost us our first, second, and a fourth rounder. Okay, so 21 to 25. This could be where either Queen or Murray would come into play. Either playmaker would be a welcome addition to a veteran-laden defense. I have a wild card player for you. With the dysfunction going on in Jacksonville, what about trading a late-round pick for Telvin Smith? He was up and coming, then for some reason decided to take last year off. Low risk, high reward, and will fit a need with our inside linebacker group. That would definitely be a wild card. Because with Jacksonville, what is going on over there? These people just really don't want to play for that team. They really don't want to play for that team. And it's wild, man. It's like they're in the same division too. It's almost like the Texans. Where it's just what is going on over there? What's going on? I don't know. I can't call it, man. He said, finally, my ideal draft selections for our Ravens in the first 3 rounds. Tell me what you think. First round, Mekhi Becton. I know an interior lineman isn't always a sexy pick, but I would envision our line being the Dallas Cowboys 2.0, but younger with a little more upside. Okay. And he said second round, Laviska Shenault Jr., possibly a Juju Smith-Schuster clone. He got tons of upside, plus I love his running back-like abilities after the catch. We sure need that. He has the flexibility to work both outside and slot positions. That's nice when you can be flexible with the players. Second round, Zach Bowen, the linebacker. He said a playmaking outside linebacker who produced a ton of pressure on Big Ten quarterbacks last year. So when the competition rises, so does his game. So that's a beautiful thing, especially when people show you that coming out of college. In my ideal draft, Matt Judon would get traded for a 2nd and a 5th. Finally, I can't wait for Thursday night. I really believe we will be one of the movers and shakers in this upcoming draft, and I look forward to your content this week. Much respect to you. And keep the family safe. I appreciate it, Mike. That your stuff is fire as always, so we appreciate it. So thank you for that, man. Next question came from my guy Cleveland CBI. He said, I was wondering how people did not see Gronk unretiring and joining Brady coming 100 miles away like I did. There's only so many bad TV opportunities out there for a dude who can't act. That can't act but wants money and fame. Cooking with Gordon Ramsay. Singing in stuffed animal costumes and pretending to wrestle weren't the greatest fallback money options for Gronkowski. So when the news broke, it wasn't really a surprise. It was still big, but it wasn't really a shocker, surprise, or anything. I didn't expect him to. But at the same time, I didn't expect him to unretire, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised that he did unretire. Because, I mean, if you want to play with Brady, and you don't play with him before, and this, because when I would watch him on WWE, when I would see like the clips of him and stuff, it'd be a little cringy. I didn't watch him on any of the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, he still wanted to play, still had that itch, and he's still super young. Well, not super young, but he's still younger. And he got out the game. He got the call when he got out the game. He didn't get forced out the game. He didn't get retired. He retired. He made the call. So it ain't no surprise that he made the call to get back into. Next question came from my boy Mike. He said, hey there, Engraven, love the vids, and thanks for keeping us entertained during these tough times. I appreciate it, man. How would you feel if for the Ravens to send a 5th round pick for O.J. Howard from the Bucks? So you would have an established tight end core, and it would allow Lamar to have more weapons. I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that at all. The only question that I have for that would be what his what the money would be looking like. But because I don't know what his cap hit is. But based off of talent alone, and for that to be your 3rd tight end or your 2nd tight end since Mark Andrews and Boyer 1A, 1B, that wouldn't be a bad option. And that would give you an already proven player, somebody who can ball, and got some little speed to him too now. But he's somebody that can ball, and a lot of people thought that the Ravens were actually going to draft him. I remember that draft. I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember his name and the Ravens being linked to it, and a lot of people were thinking, "Ooh, this could be a guy for the Ravens." Now there's a guy. Shout out to Collinsworth. We do miss hearing your voice on football because we miss football. But he could. I wouldn't mind that at all. Next question also came from my boy Rodell. He said, my guy, I know all the speculation only means your workload continues. Sorry, but I'm here contributing to that. It's all good, man. Now that Gronk is in Tampa, could we target O.J. Howard? We are in a run-heavy system where tight ends are pretty much second on our totem pole. If we don't go through the draft, don't go through free agency, and get Delanie Walker, don't get Delanie Walker, could we make this move for possibly a 3rd or 4th round pick? Thanks a lot, and wish you luck with your workload. Hey, so well, I mean, I like the previous guy's his question better because he said for a 5th round pick. So I mean, if we get it for the cheaper, the better. I think I thought I saw somebody say something about trading him for a 7th round pick. But hold on. We got another question on O.J. Howard, and this came from my guy Andrew Korn. He said, Good afternoon, diehard Ravens fan here, wondering your thoughts on if the Ravens should or would trade for O.J. Howard. Not sure what his contract situation is or what the price would be, but what if the Costa could make a trade for him using a mid-round pick? Not sure about his blocking though, but the potential is still there. And have a great day. So shout out to my guy Andrew K. So yeah, so the O.J. Howard buzz amongst Ravens fans, it was going yesterday. Yeah, it was certainly going. So with that being said, I mean, I wouldn't mind it for a low round pick. The highest that I would go, because the big question with O.J. Howard is, you can get him now, that's cool, whatever, but how long are you gonna keep him? Depending on how long they will keep him, that would change what I would be willing to give up for him. Because when it comes time, he's probably gonna want to do some big money. You got Mark Andrews, and it's looking like he's going to be the guy that gets the big money. We'll see, though. Nothing set in stone. But it'd be nice to have an option like O.J. Howard, too. And he's going to get some playing time. But Lamar would just have to get a connection with him. And I mean, he's a tight end, so that would definitely come. But you know what? At the same time, it would not be nice. It would be very nice to have him as an option. But I do expect the offense to take a step forward in expanding and getting the receivers involved more. So do you give up? That's why I say I would rather give up something low. So just in case it didn't work out to where it was like, oh, well, it was really only those first two tight ends that were really getting the majority. And O.J. Howard was nice, a nice luxury to have, but didn't really make a big impact. But then that'd be nice just in case like injury or anything like that. I mean, he'd be a nice addition on the team, but I would just want it to be worth it, you know. If we gave up something cheap for, okay, if he works out, gets a lot of playing time, cool. If he doesn't, okay, we ain't really give up much for him. But I'm thinking like more so, I'm thinking both short and long term, the effects of an O.J. Howard. Immediately makes your tight end group that much better. So that would be great. Somebody that can start, somebody that has started. But then that's the short term. But long term, like, okay, are you really going to retain this guy when his contract is up? When is his contract up? How much does he even make right now? How much of a cap hit does he have right now? I know he's still on his rookie deal, but yeah, how much time does he have left right now? So those would be my biggest questions with O.J. Howard. But I definitely wouldn't mind him on the team. Next question came from my boy Derek. He said, will the Buccaneers be the new Patriots acquiring Gronk? No, they'll be the new Buccaneers. But nah, I mean, they got the all-time Patriot Tom Brady, and they got one of the all-time Patriots in Gronk. So I mean, pretty much. Next question came from my boy Justin D. He said, "What's going on? Hope all is well." Justin from Jersey. He said, "I got a question. What's the possibility that the Ravens pick up Thaddeus Moss at tight end? The kid is a machine at the position and seems to always find the end zone. With him and Mark Andrews, we could definitely have another weapon. Also, being that his pops is Randy, could be a booster for our wide receivers in the locker room. As always, team, keep it clean. P.S. I was at the 2018 AFC North Championship game versus the Browns as well. That's why I proposed to my best friend, and that game was epic." Oh, you proposed, okay, to your girl at that game? All right. Well, congratulations on that. You picked a good time. I'm glad you ain't wait to the playoff game to propose to her, because that would have been a little awkward. You would have been winning, but we all as Ravens fans would have been losing. So congrats to you on that. But Thaddeus Moss, somebody, I think it was my guy Nubian Sage. I forgot who it was though. They say Thaddeus Moss ain't really all that. I would like to see for myself. But yeah, that would be one of the possible benefits of drafting a Thaddeus Moss. I know we can't assume that it would happen, because you never know, because Randy Moss might be watching some of these videos and be like, man, like, no, leave me alone. I'm retired. Y'all not the Patriots. I ain't gonna be coaching up y'all wide receivers. Leave me alone. Leave me out of all that. Because I know a couple of other people have said the same thing too, like, oh, we would have Randy Moss, he'd be on the sidelines and he could help our wide receivers out too. And it's a possibility he could, but maybe he just might want to chill and just watch his son. Maybe he might not want to feel like coach, especially if he ain't getting paid by the Ravens to do it. But yeah, this takes me back to the O.J. Howard question with how if you draft a tight end, then you got that guy for at least the next 4 years. And if you decide to re-sign him when it's time, okay, cool. But if you don't, okay, cool. There's always the draft and free agency 4 or 5 years down the road. So I mean, with Thaddeus Moss, if the Ravens did sign him, then yeah, if he's a red zone target, cool. I mean, yeah, that's a tight end should be that. They should all. Some of them can stretch the field, others can't. Blah blah blah. Different tight ends come with different characteristics and whatnot. So I'm sure he will be a welcome addition to the Ravens. And then that would sort of fill that Hayden Hurst role, since it's pretty much wide open right now. Next question came from my boy House Call 800, and he had that mock draft in an episode of questions from subscribers from yesterday. A lot of y'all went crazy over. So he knows how to get Team Keep It Clean going. So shout out to my guy House Call. Anyway, he said, I got a question when it comes to the Pro Bowl and the NFL. Should the NFL discuss about putting the Pro Bowl game, the first preseason game? What? Should the NFL discuss about putting the Pro Bowl game, the first preseason game, to eliminate one of the 4 preseason games? This will make preseason games more watched and talked about for fans than current. Fans haven't watched or talked about football since the Super Bowl, NFL draft, and summer season. This will be an opportunity for players in free agency, more reps learning a new system for their different teams, and more reps for draft players who just came out of college, learning certain team systems in the preseason. The only starters will play in the preseason as the Pro Bowl nominees. Want to hear your thoughts and keep it clean. No, I wouldn't do that at all. Reason being because preseason is a time for them to get ramped up, for them to get going. For them to get acclimated with their new teams. And the Pro Bowl is a mix of all of the best of the best, or the most popular of the popular, really. And with that, if they were to play the Pro Bowl as one of the preseason games, to take the Pro Bowl to replace one of the preseason games, that'd be a big no-no, because you're getting back into football shape. You ain't been playing a whole season. So it will be like these guys could be like sloppy, and I know enough of them are mature enough, and they handle their business with their bodies and stuff. But with the Pro Bowl, it's at the end of the season. You've played the 16-game schedule, and you've been nominated by your friends as one of the best of the best. And then you play in a Pro Bowl right before the Super Bowl. So it's like, okay, cool. But then if you play the 16-game season, go through the playoffs, go through the Super Bowl, all that, and then you take a couple of months off in the off season, and then come back, and then instead of the first preseason game, or whenever in the preseason you want to put the Pro Bowl, you will be playing a Pro Bowl. So the best of the best players from the previous year playing in the best of the best game this year. They could be out of shape. They could be out of whack. So I wouldn't go for that one. Next question came from my boy Tevin Sr. He said, I was watching the Lamar Jackson chat with the Ravens today, and the questions they were asking the MVP were just disrespectful. When he put disrespectful in all caps, I can't yell it right now like I normally would because my wife and Carter are sleeping. So, but anyway, he put disrespectful in all caps and put 1, 2, 3. I can't even count how many exclamation points he used, but he put some emphasis on disrespectful. Anyway, he said, I mean, they're asking him if he's getting advice from AB about playing quarterback, and tedious questions like what he meant by not bad for a running back. I mean, come on. I was just wishing you could ask him some real questions. So when are you going to join the Ravens media channel? He said they could really use you, but I guess we can too. Keep up all the hard work and consistency. We love you. Blessings. I appreciate it, Tevin. I didn't watch it. Now you make me want to watch it, man. I didn't watch it. I did. I just read about it like on Twitter and stuff. But I didn't get a chance to see it. So now I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out, man. Never know, man. Never know. Never know what the future holds. But we'll see. So shout out to them. Next question came from my boy Michael Chicken. He said, hey, Engraven, love the channel. I hope you're well during these times. Appreciate it, Mike. He said, anyways, I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. My friends are saying the Diggs trade was a bad trade. I think it was a good trade, but how do you feel? I think it was a good trade. They did give up a lot, but they did get a really good player. And do they still have Cole Beasley? I think they do. John Brown, isn't John Brown a free agent? Because he was only signed to, no, he was signed to a 3-year deal, not a 1-year deal. So yeah, they got John Brown. And yeah, they had Stephon Diggs. The receivers are smaller. So Josh Allen, he gonna have to, but he did his thing with them last year. But that was his biggest thing, was the just overthrowing. Because he got a big arm, but sometimes with that big arm, man, you can put too much on it. But no, it'll work. It'll work itself out once they get that chemistry down. But yeah, so yeah, they did give up a little boatload for him, but they got a really good receiver, so I think it was fine. Next question came from my boy Jeremiah. He said, "Engraving, with needing depth at receiving, could we sign the recently released Marquise Lee? He's a proven vet, but just has injury problems. As a USC fan, I do want him a little more, but I am trying not to be biased." Hey, that's funny, man. I wouldn't right now. I'll wait till the draft, maybe as a last resort. Maybe if like they didn't draft anybody and just and I mean that's not gonna happen. But if they didn't draft anybody and the free agent market was just not hitting like that, it wouldn't hurt to give him a look-see. It wouldn't hurt to just give him a look. So okay, what you got, Marquise Lee? You know, last year I think he caught like 3 catches. But hey, if he still got something. I mean, the worst that could happen, you bring him in on a deal that's not super guaranteed. He comes in and he doesn't look good. You release him. That's it. No harm, no foul. Next question came from my boy Alex. He said, "Do you think the Ravens can trade Matt Judon in a draft pick to a team in the top 10 to acquire Isaiah Simmons?" Whew. Hopefully there's a season next year. And just curious, do you go to all the games? Because my grandfather owns PSL and we go to all the games, including playoffs. Stay safe out there, and you and your family. Oh, appreciate that, man. No, we don't go to all the games, not at all. We usually go to a couple every year. Definitely not all of them. But so in this year, yeah, I do expect there to be a season. I definitely expect there to be a season. But will we even be able to go to any games? We'll see. Just depends on how things go. I know some states are starting to open some things back up. So we'll just see how everything goes. Anyway, do you think the Ravens could trade Matt Judon and a draft pick to a team in the top 10 to acquire Isaiah Simmons? Oh, so the number 28 pick and Matt Judon to get into the top 10? For some reason, I just don't think anybody will go for that. I don't think they will go for that. And maybe that's just me looking at it from the inside out as a Ravens fan, and because Matt Judon, again, good player, not a great player yet, but he's a good player. He can do multiple things. He's an outside linebacker. He can put his hands in the dirt if need be. Not consistently, but he can do it, man. But I don't think anybody would, a top 10 pick for. I don't think anybody. I don't see them doing that. I don't see anybody going for it. I don't think anybody would give us a top 10 pick for our low first and for Matt Judon. I just don't see it. Next question came from my boy Sean. He said, "What's up, Engraving? Hope all is well with you and the family. Appreciate you, man." He said, "With the draft quickly approaching, I hope EDC has his eyes on wide receiver Brian Edwards from South Carolina. At 6'3", 212 pounds, this kid is a burner. I believe the only reason he will slide to the middle rounds is because he had a broken foot. This guy is a true number one that fights for the ball like a dog and knows how to separate. If the Ravens were to miss out on Denzel Mims, Brian Edwards would be the guy. Tell me what you think about this kid, Engraving, and you stay safe. Sean from East Beemore." Appreciate you, Sean. I'm gonna start calling you Sean the I'm gonna start calling you Sean from Notre Dame, man. Ooh, my guy Sean, man. He say, "Hey, with them Notre Dame receivers," he say, let it go. Let it go. Shout out to my guy, man. This just has. I thought this year was gonna go a lot different than it did, as far as looking at the draft prospects and whatnot. But I just never had time to, man. Things. I mean, and it was a good problem to have because things got so busy. But I just never had time to. I wanted to, but the channel things, and it is like I said, it's a good thing. I'm not complaining at all. but the channel, it picked up a lot. Things got very, 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 very busy. Even when it was supposed to be slow season, it wasn't no slow season. And even with the season being changed because everything going on, still wasn't slow seasons. But I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man, for making that happen. But with this, I mean, this happened to wasn't it Denzel Mims too, who I know, was he the one that had a broken hand last year? I want to say it was him, but I can't remember 100%. But stuff like that, like you said, he had a broken foot. Stuff like that can hurt a player's initial draft status. But if they got game, man, the tape will show like, hey, you know what I can do. My foot was broken. You know what I'm about, man. You know I can ball. You know I can play. You know what I can do for your team. Hey, if you want somebody, let me know. You know I'm with it. So if that's the case with him, then we'll see where he ends up going and if he gets an opportunity to prove himself in the league. Next question came from my boy Ravens Cavs. He said, Jaquan here, man. Hope you are doing well and wish you and the fam the best. So appreciate it, Jaquan. He said, do you think the Ravens could pull off a trade for Chris Godwin? He will be nasty in this offense and is the type of wide receiver we're missing. I would give up our first rounder and possibly even more for this guy. I know Brady just arrived in town, but with the wide receiver class being so deep, I think the Bucs will take it. What are your thoughts? I think if the Ravens offer what you would be offering for him, then they would. I don't think I would do it. I mean, he just gave up his number for Brady. I don't think the Bucs are gonna give him up though. I really don't see that happening. And to give up to give up a first rounder and more. Ooh, is Godwin that nice? Did I miss something? I know he ain't sorry now, but is he that nice? Ooh, I wouldn't do it though. I would just, I mean, if the wide receiver class is so deep, you might as well just use that with first round pick on one of the wide receivers in the class. Next question came from my boy King Savage Dom. He said, do you think we should trade for Leonard Fournette? No. He said, I know that we have Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill, but with Mark Ingram getting a little old, Gus Edwards may being on his way out, should we pull the trigger? I mean, Leonard Fournette has been one of my favorite running backs in the league, and with him only being 25, wow, he's that young? And there being talks about us possibly getting a new running back, I think he will fit perfectly. He's a tank. Yes, he is. And he has proven that he can be successful. He has. But the Jags wanted to rebuild and get as much cap as they can. I don't think that it will cost a lot. No, I don't think it would cost a lot as far as what you would have to give up. Because they probably just want to get rid of him at this point. Since they really want to get rid of everybody. Again, I don't know what's going on over there. It's crazy. But with that being said, for Leonard Fournette, I mean, you just talked about it too. There being talk about the Ravens, if they could possibly draft a running back. So if you bring in Leonard Fournette and you draft a running back, then this Leonard Fournette, a running back, Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram, Justice Hill, that's a fabulous five. So you gonna get rid of 2 running backs, or you gonna keep 4? But. No, he does have 2 years left on his deal because he has this year and then he has the 5th year option. And I think, if he can get used to that read option play style, I think he could work good with the offense because it would be like almost, it would almost be like having a little Derrick Henry back there because he's a bruiser. Like you said, he's a tank. It'd be like having a little Derrick Henry back there. But I just don't see it happening, man. If anything, I don't think he's going to be on their team this year. I don't think Leonard Fournette is going to be on the Jaguars roster this year. And I think what could end up happening, I know they're going to want to hold on to him to the very end. And they really like, oh, man, we really want to get a draft pick for this guy. But if nobody is willing to trade for him, I think the Jags are just going to end up cutting him. I think they're just going to end up cutting him. And if he does get traded, I think it's going to be for something very low, like a 6th or 7th round pick. And that'll show you just how badly these guys wanted to get rid of him. But for the Ravens, no, I don't see that happening. Next question came from my boy Jason. He said, the Bears released Trey Burton. Do you think the Ravens should pounce on this guy? He had a breakout year with the Eagles besides Zach. I guess this is like the tight end edition of, this sort of like a free agent tight end edition, wide receiver a little bit too. A question from subscribers. Anyway, he said he had a breakout year with the Eagles besides Zach Ertz. I don't know how the money works when a player is dumped, so I'm not even sure this would be feasible. However, the way it works, if they get released, they get released. So they're out of their previous contract. So their previous contract has absolutely nothing to do with the new team that they go to. The new team that they go to signed them to a brand new contract, and that's it. So he said he is a good blocker and good with the hands. He got hurt with an abdomen injury last season. At least that's what I think it was. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this, and would it be a good or a bad thing? By the way, latest mock draft on NFL.com had us grabbing Randy Moss' son in the 6th round. Just found it interesting since the subscriber asked if Moss would be good for the Ravens, or would the Ravens be good for Moss. Anyway, hope you're having a great one with the family. As always, thanks for the material. That draft is upon us this year, though. Feels like a holiday. So we'll see, man. With Trey Burton, though. And appreciate it, Jason. I mean, yeah, Jeff Zrebick, see, I said his name right. He said that the Ravens were actually interested in him when he was a free agent, but the money is just. But yeah, so it couldn't hurt. Again, and he would be, he could give us some speed at the tight end position there. But I think that if Trey Burton is even an option for them, I feel obviously after the draft, because when you're watching this, the draft is going to be tomorrow. But yeah, after the draft, it just depends on how the draft will shake out. If they saw a tight end that they liked, okay, then well, no Trey Burton. But if they didn't get a tight end, or they got somebody that they may just want to put on practice squad or something like that, okay, Trey, come in, show us what you got. You fully healed? Oh, you are? Okay. All right, come join the Ravens. Shout out to Marlon Humphrey. Next question came from my boy, What You Doing, Johnny. He said, do you think Lamar will take a team-friendly deal when it's time for him to get paid? The way he holds himself says yes, but the way he plays the game says no. Oh, I love this question, man. I've been battling about this question for a while now. Yeah, I agree. The way that he carries himself and whatnot, you could think yes, but at the same time, the way he plays the game so far, no. But also what he would deserve if he continues going on the level that he's going. Then no, what I think he'll do is take a deal. He's gonna get his money. I think he's definitely gonna get his money. But I think they structure it in the best way possible, because he's still gonna get paid a lot of money. He's gonna get paid a lot of money. But I think that they structure it in the best way possible. That is the friendliest way possible for the team. Because, I mean, when you're paying a quarterback, I mean, they're going to count a lot against the salary cap. We know that. They are going to count a lot against the salary cap. But for Lamar, he will have already brought a Super Bowl to the Ravens. So that'll already be off his checklist. And he will have brought a lot of success to the Ravens. So that will also be off his checklist by the time it's contract time. So it's like he's going to deserve the money. I don't think any Ravens fan, I think it's going to be like the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. They're going to know, like, hey, this dude is going to be paid. They're going to know that, and they expect it, and they ain't got no problem with it. They will have no problem with it, and I think it's going to be the same way with Lamar. But with the Ravens, I really do think that, again, Eric DeCosta, financially responsible. I mean, you saw the Chiefs. They had at one point they had $177 in cap space, but then they did restructure Sammy Watkins, and they still got some moves to make, so they gained some additional cap space. But again, like I said before too, I said I would take that. I would all day. I would take the Ravens having $177 in cap space, or at one point in free agency, if it meant that they just won the Super Bowl. Oh, I would take that all day. I'd be like, oh, they'll be fine. They'll work it out. And yeah, they're going to have some tough decisions to make, but yeah, they'll work it out. So yeah, I would have definitely took that all day. But that's what I think they'll do. I think Lamar's definitely going to get his money. But at the same time, I think it's going to be as financially, well, it's going to be financially responsible, but it's going to be as team friendly as it can possibly be. Next question came from my guy Adam. He said, Engraven, greetings from Poland. Oh, shout out to Poland. He said, been watching videos for a few months. Great content. Keep it up. I appreciate it. Oh, I love how he started this. He said, NFL is business. Yes, it certainly is. Since we all know some of our young stars are going to get paid soon, we'll have to say goodbye to other guys. That is very true. So get ready. It could come sooner rather than later. He said 2020 is going to be the last season in Ravens uniforms for a few players. Yes, it certainly is. Do you see a scenario in which we'll part ways with Mark Ingram or Earl Thomas after next season? For which players 2020 will most likely be their last season in a Ravens uniform? Oh, man. Ooh, this is a powerful one. And I think this will actually, this will close us out of this episode of NFL Question from subscribers. Oof. So, which season do you see as this being the last season for some of the Ravens players in a Ravens uniform? I think a lot depends on how the season goes. If it's a, I mean, yeah, they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. So after the Super Bowl, with Earl Thomas, I think it just depends on how he plays, man. It depends on how comfortable he is. I don't really envision him being released, but if they win the Super Bowl, I almost see him retiring. And being like, hey, this was fun, appreciate it, loved it, but I'm out. But with Mark Ingram, if they won the Super Bowl, I don't know. Mark Ingram, he's definitely one of the leaders, though. Some people I can see as their last year as a Raven. Tough. Matt Judon, I could see him. I could see Matt Judon. Willie Snead. I can see Willie Snead at it being his last year. Jaleel Scott, Chris Moore. I think his last year was last year. I know he's signed to the team right now, but just the business side, man. DeAnthony Thomas, I think his last year was gonna be last year. Anthony Levine, Jimmy Smith, maybe. Ooh. Be a big one right there. We'll see. But yeah, man, Judon. Who else? Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards would be another one. Justin Ellis. Andre Smith. I think Andre Smith, his last year could actually be last year too. But Justin Ellis, Brandon Williams. Who else? It's a lot of people so far. This is quite a list, huh? Who else? Matt Skura, because I think he'll do good this season for the Ravens, and then I think he'll end up cashing out elsewhere. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody else, and I think that would be about it. That's all I can think of for now. But that's a powerful question right there, man.
Let's go. Make him rage quit, exit out the door. Yeah. Use his favorite team without Baltimore.